Hello, everybody. This is Transit Joe here on June the 3rd, 2022. Um, it's raining outside. We just got into hurricane season 3 days ago, and we have our first disturbance already coming through the area. It's supposed to be probably become a tropical storm. It doesn't require any evacuations, any preparations, anything like that. It's mostly a rain event. And so I got the week off. I'm home and enjoying the rainy weather. It's supposed to get a lot stormier later on. But anyway, today we're going to talk about the Bad Boys. And I'm not talking about employees or anything like that. I'm talking about Bad Boys of the Night. Maybe you call it Volume 1. I'll tell you a couple of experiences in this video. And maybe a couple more in another video. I don't want to make the videos too long or too boring or more boring than they are already. But anyway, let's get down to it. We're going to go back 25 years or so. Back in the, no, that's not that far. 22, 23 years back in, well, turn of the century when I was working the midnight shift. And the first one was, well, let's go in order. The first one was uh, the Night Owl route, Route 246. We used to operate when we first started overnight service, we started with two routes. The 236, which was called the Airport Owl, and the 246, which was the Night Owl. The Airport Owl is mostly quiet. Sometimes you get a little bit of, trouble here or there. It was mostly um, a circulator route. It would go from Miami International Airport down 36th Street to Miami Beach, down Collins Avenue on the beach, and then come back to downtown. Flagler Street to 37th Avenue, and back to the airport. And pretty successful, it carried a lot of airport employees and stuff like that. And the 246 was mostly, I don't know who came up with that route, but it's an alignment that still exists today, partially at least, because we have other overnight service now that, well, the alignment doesn't have to go on the beach anymore. Anyway, people familiar with Miami, the alignment of the 246 back then, it would start in North Miami Beach, and they had a clockwise and a counterclockwise. And if you were clockwise, you would start in North Miami Beach, head over to the beach itself, Sunny Isles, down Collins Avenue through Hollover, Surfside, Bell Harbor, into the city of Miami Beach, down Lincoln Road, down Washington Avenue, the party corridor, to Fifth Street, and then take the MacArthur Causeway back to the mainland, back to downtown Miami, and circle downtown. Then it'll head back up north through the hoods. I mean, I'm talking about you hit Overtown, you hit Calmer, um, Alapata, Liberty City, Scotts Projects, Opelika, all those. Then back to North Miami Beach, and the what he used to do is basically, apart from a lot of working people used to ride on it, a lot of people running drugs. It's the safest way to run drugs from neighborhood to neighborhood, weed and cocaine and and all that stuff, because the cops rarely stop the bus for nothing. So you get on the bus and you got your shipment and you behaved, you can get from point A to point B with no problem whatsoever. And well, this particular night, um, all the drivers that started back then on the airport owl and night owls all worked for, I think I've told you before, the B division, the minibus division. Uh, we as street supervisor, we supervise both full size and minibus. It made no difference to us. But anyway, we had a good set of operators. I mean, very good. And we used to the full size buses used to uh, communicate with control with their basic radios, like most of y'all have in your agencies. Well, B division operators had two-way radios, and they'll communicate with control or with the street supervisor or supervisors. So I maintained a pretty good um, communication with the buses. And when I worked overnight, and I checked on various locations, and trailed them through some of the rougher areas and all that, try to keep everybody safe. And we weren't there to nab anybody, to stop the drug, nothing. We're not police officers. That's their job. Our job was to transport people and get home at the end of the day with no problems, alive with no incidents. And this basically what I did is overnight I just trailed buses up and down, make sure that they see my car, they see my presence, and um, well, that particular night, one of the operators of the night owl called me on the two-way and says I need 215 with him or meet with him. Uh, she was northbound 22nd Avenue or so. So I chose the Golden Glaze parking ride on to meet with her. She said she had a suspicious passenger on board. Now this operator, she maybe 4'11", but she's not scared of nobody. Nobody. I mean, she'll, like Gordon Soley once said, she'll fight a buzzsaw and give it the first 2 rounds. But she was very concerned about this guy. And so I met the bus in Golden Glades, and the bus was eastbound. It was from Golden Glades, it was to go to North Miami-Dade, the end of the line. So I did an old trick that they taught me. I would walk the outside of the bus and look at all the passengers. And one person kept looking back at me. And most of the people that were on the bus, maybe 10, 12, 15 people, they were all uh, black, Hispanic. Most of them I knew by, just seeing them around. A couple of homeless, But this guy was white. And he had this thick frame glasses. Looked weird as shit. And he kept looking back at me to see where I went. So I nodded to the operator. She kept on going. I trailed the bus to North Miami Beach to the end of the line. At the end of the line, they had about 15 minutes. And rules at the time was that everybody had to get off the bus. If you were continuing around the clockwise loop, you had to get off the bus while the operator takes the recovery time, uses the restroom, whatever. When the operator's ready to drive the bus again, then you come back on the bus. So, got to North Miami. I think that was First Avenue and Northwest 167th Street. There was a gas station on the south side. There was a Dunkin' Donut on the north side. And she parked her bus on First Avenue because you had to loop around the block. And everybody got off. So I got out my vehicle. I meandered among them. And like I said, most of them I knew by sight. Most of them knew me, from working. But this guy that we're talking about, I got close to him, and said, "How you doing?" I forgot what words he said to me. Something back. It wasn't nothing nasty or anything like that. And well, I just turned. I was talking to him for a couple of, maybe a minute, and I was just wandering around, looking around. Looked to my left, and the guy's, damn, he disappeared. He's gone. make sure. It says, well, the crowd is all 9, 10, 12 people are still here, but this guy's gone. I mean, we're in the parking lot of a gas station. And I was talking to him, like I said, nothing, just a couple of words. Look to my right, say hi to somebody, whatever. Look to my left, the guy's gone. So the operator came back out. I told her what happened. She just looked at me funny. She got on her bus. She went. I went around the block, looked for the guy, He vanished into thin air. I mean, I'm sure he was hiding somewhere, but this guy was up to something, and his plans did not go well. But he was up to something, and something nasty, because he just looked out of place. He wasn't scared, and like I said, well, that's number one. Number two was just maybe a year or two later, and we had a call coming in one of the late night service on the route 12, or no, the route 21. They call the Soul Train 21, which used to stop service right around midnight or a little bit more. It was a very popular route from downtown to mostly African American communities, in Overtown, Alapata, Liberty City, up the north side. The bus was uh, southbound, and the operator had reported a passenger problem. But I asked control where the bus was. The bus was moving slowly, but it was moving. So, I'm pretty good with the city, and I know how to, take my shortcuts, my back roads, and all that. And I met the bus by a couple of blocks from Miami Northwestern High. It was on the 12th Avenue, right in the Pork and Beans. And I got in front of the bus in the middle of the street. Kind of did like a, cut right in front of it. And back then I used to have one of those 4 or 6 decent battery mag lights. It was about yay long, and I still have it around here somewhere. And our radio's not the little thing we have now. We used to have a pretty good sized radio. So I get off the bus. I told control my arrival, where I was at. Get off the bus, radio in one hand and the light. And I asked the operator what happened. It says, that man that's standing on the bus, there was about 6 people on the bus. I says, he won't sit down. He keeps threatening me and threatening people. I look at the guy. The guy must have been about 6'4". He was on something. You can tell by his eyes he was on something. The guy was, he wasn't built, but he was solid. And he was, like I said, his eyes were like gone. His face was serious. And I entered the bus, and he says, what the F is going on? And I said, sir, just take it easy. I'm going to kill that bee and blah, 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 blah. I said to myself, you know what? This guy's on something, and I can probably hit him with this mag light as hard as I can, and it's not going to phase him. I can shove this radio down his throat, and it's not going to phase him. So I got to somehow avoid a confrontation with this jerk. And I told the operator, says, if I get him to get off the bus, the moment he's off the bus, you close your doors and you go. The operator, I don't know what happened in that bus and before she called, but she was scared. Scared. You can tell when somebody's just terrified. I got on the bus, and I said, sir, you have to step out the bus. And he was just looking at me, with that face, and said, sir, you have to step off the bus. Operator doesn't want you on the bus. What do you mean doesn't want me on? You got to step off the bus. And I told him, I said, listen, I know I'll give you a ride. I'll put you in my car, take you wherever you need to go. But once the operator says he's got to get off the bus, you have to get out the bus. And I really don't want to get the police involved. For your sake, for my sake, because I don't want to be writing a big long report. I said I don't want to get the police involved. The police are probably on the way here by now. So get out the bus. I'll give you a ride in my car. Get to where we need to go. We solve the situation. Now, mind you, there was no freaking way I was going to put this guy in my vehicle with me. So I got off the bus. He got off behind me. Operator closed her doors. Boom! Right around my car. Gone. And now it's just me and him in the hood. And I just looked down and says, just wait right here. My car's in the middle of the street. Let me curb my car and I'll pick you up. So I got in the car and did like I'm going to unlock the passenger door. As soon as I closed my door, bam, I was gone. I mean, I had that Ford revving, pedal to the metal. I didn't stop. And I caught up to the operator. The operator was so scared. She had only one more trip to go back northbound. And she says, I'm not doing it. When I get to the end of the line, I'm done. And I looked at her eyes. Her eyes were kind of red, like she was just scared crapless. And I can tell I can feel the vibration. This guy was it was bad news. So we had a relief operator do the trip northbound. There was no further incident. But I'll never forget that because that guy, he was on something and he was getting ready to do something. We came this close. And what saved me is for maybe God had an angel looking over me. I mean, I told him, let me curb the car and pick you up. That doesn't make any damn sense. I got to pick up in the middle of the street. There's nobody, it's deserted. And that threw him off for just a bit because he was right behind me. He was a couple of feet behind me. We're getting in that car together. As soon as I get in that car, we had a Ford Taurus back then. I mean, that car I was gone, pedal to the metal, and I was down 12th Avenue, and I did not release that pedal until it got way past 54th Street. So that's my video for today. You guys got anything interesting to share? Hit the like, subscribe button and comments. I will read every comments. I will answer you any questions. And now it's time for our sponsor. We don't have any. Okay, folks. My cat's calling me. Here it is, my old lady. She's 16 years old with her sister. We've been with us for the longest time. She an old lady. So, all right. I'll see you on the next one. From a rainy South Florida. Goodbye.